Hello, everyone. It looks like we're live. Since I'm using a new mic today, it would be awesome to hear your thoughts on it. Okay, this is my new little microphone. So if you can hear me well, please let me know in the comments before we begin the official stream. I can bring back my fancy RGB microphone at any time. I just want to try it with this one. Okay, hi to everyone in the comments. Hello to Al Petras. Yo, what's up? How's it going? I'm going to pull out your comments shortly. And I'll, of course, reply to them. And also a shout out to Naftali, who just joined my members program. Thank you so much. Welcome. Hello, Simon. Hello to all the folks in the comments. Could you please let me know if you hear me well, given this microphone? Just give me a quick confirmation. Hey, Maria, we can hear you well, and then we can start this lovely stream. Sandy, please let me know if you can hear me, okay? I trust you. I can see you in the comments. Hello. Thank you for joining us in this very late hour in Australia. Okay, sounds good. Perfect. Badger, what's up, man? Great to see you guys. Let's start this stream. So welcome to an educational stream. Oh, I should be I shouldn't be with hugging face on my right from the get-go. Okay, so welcome to this lovely stream. I haven't had one in a while that is actually educational, informative. It's a code along, and it's a stream. Usually I'm here to reply to your questions and talk about things that are not so related to Python. Today we'll talk about Python and about artificial intelligence. So yeah, welcome. If you're new to this channel, my name is Maria. I'm a software developer. I teach artificial intelligence in Python here on YouTube. And yeah, so yesterday, it was such a crazy day. Everybody was talking about DeepSeek, and I was trying to avoid it as much as possible, but I couldn't, okay? It drove me crazy. And I'll tell you this in the end of the stream. The beginning of the stream will be very informative. We will load DeepSeek on our computer through a Docker container, okay? We're not going to do it directly on our system. We're going to encapsulate it in an isolated environment. We call it a sandbox environment, and it will run in this environment, which is exactly how you should be running artificial intelligence models, especially those that you have some safety concerns about. Okay, I hear a lot of comments. I see a lot of comments about China. We will talk about it too. When you run it from a Docker container, you're basically creating this isolated environment on your system that uses your system hardware but doesn't have any access to your files. Okay, so if you're concerned with safety, if you're concerned with things that are related to China, okay, this should be the best way to run it to mitigate your concerns. Ask Badger, okay, very smart guy. He really likes Docker. And Docker in general, this is what we use when we're receiving files that are a bit shady. Okay, so if you're a freelancer and somebody pays you to review their code and to fix their code, they send you some kind of a zip file with a bunch of code. You don't run it on your system. You run it in a Docker container. In fact, I would even unzip it inside the Docker container. I wouldn't even unzip it on my system. Okay, so okay, there's a lot of also another thing that I want to show you in this informative tutorial step-by-step kind of video is the gap between what they told you in the news, what they told you in social media, okay, and between how this model manifests in reality. There are a lot of misconceptions, and people just repeat what somebody else told them without actually trying it. So today we're gonna actually try it. Okay, we'll try it on my system. You can try it on your system. It's gonna work. And yeah, let's get going. So we will not start absolutely from scratch. Okay, we will start from an existing repository that I have on GitHub. Now, those of you who watch the channel for quite some time, you probably know that I've been talking about a special YouTube short that I filmed a while back, and I was waiting for YouTube to implement 3-minute shorts so I can upload it. Okay, this is the code of this short. Okay, now the short is using a model named Qwen, which is also an open source model. Okay, just like DeepSeek, but not as smart. Okay, it's a relatively simple model that can run on relatively simple computers. You don't need the fanciest hardware. It runs on my laptop. It runs on my computer here. It's a large language model, and it's considered a very nice one. Okay, there you go. So this is the code of the short where I added just yesterday. Okay, I have an update that includes the DeepSeek functionality. Okay, so let's do it. I'm gonna minimize myself, okay, because it's gonna bug me. My face is gonna hide most of the code. There you go. I'm much smaller. Hi. And let's get on it. So the first thing we'll need, and you can probably see it in the description, you need to install a program named Docker Desktop. So let's go ahead and open it. Docker Desktop. Come on. Okay, great. There you go. Now, if you're not working with Docker Desktop on a daily basis, if you're not sure how to connect your WSL terminal to it, you go to your settings and you make sure that your WSL2 based engine is on. Okay. And once it's on, there's another section. I think it's the advanced section. Yeah, advanced and then WSL integration. Make sure that you enable the integration with my default WSL distro. Okay, because even if you install WSL, even if you installed Docker Desktop, sometimes these two will give you a hard time. So make sure they're enabled. And only then you can actually use Docker inside your WSL terminal. So let's open it up. WSL. Okay, let's put it here. Okay, let's minimize it for now. Okay, let's make the text a bit larger. And how do you know your Docker is properly installed on your system? Well, first of all, Docker Desktop is running and your engine is running, given this green thing at the bottom. Sorry that my computer is kind of small today. Should have thought of it earlier. Okay, and if Docker is running, you just run a command docker -- version. Okay, and then you get the version in return. If you have some issues with running Docker through your WSL terminal, you will see an error here. Okay, with a link to some Docker troubleshooting stuff. Yeah, if you have any issues, please let me know in the comments here in the live stream, and please put 3 stars ahead of your comment just so I know to look into it as I speak. Okay, I'm looking on your comments right now. Cool, but not too deeply. Sorry, I will look at them a bit later when the stream turns from a extra informative tutorial type of stream to opinion-based question answering kind of stream. Right now, it's educational. Okay, great. So once Docker is on, we know it is set up. The only thing we need to do is we need to clone my repository, and we will go over the code, of course. I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it in the comments right now. You will see a link in a few seconds because there's a bit of a delay. Check it out in the live chat besides the stream. Yes, it should be, you should see it by now. Okay, so once we are, what did I do? Sorry. Okay, so once we are inside my GitHub repository of chatbot Quen, we will go ahead and clone it. Okay, so we'll click on code, and then usually you would have your SSH, which is a secure way of cloning and pushing code to GitHub. But we'll do this through HTTPS because we don't have time to set it up and explain it. Okay, doesn't really matter. We'll copy this URL and we will type inside our WSL terminal git clone followed by the URL we just copied. Okay, great. We have it on our system. How do we know? If we type cd chatbot _Quen, okay, and then we type ls, we will find all the project files right over here. Also, another way of doing so is navigating to our Linux, how do you call it? A Linux operating system, I guess. We have it with WSL on our Windows somehow, to our home, Maria in my case, and then we can find the chatbot Quen inside our file system. There you go. These are the files we have. Now, I already ran it yesterday, and to save you some time, I created a file where you can just run it without worrying about any adaptations, because the Quen model is slightly different from the Deepseek version of this model, and I'll tell you why shortly. So this is the main Deepseek would be the file that includes the code that uses this distilled version of Quen. Okay, why distilled? Because there is no chance in hell that you can run the Deepseek model on your computer. Sorry to disappoint you. Okay, when people are talking about the smart, okay, that's why I had Hugging Face on. When people are talking about the super smart, genius, brilliant model that is way smarter than ChatGPT and all that jazz, they're talking about these two. Okay, they're talking about Deepseek R10 and Deepseek R1. Now, these models have 671 billion parameters. Okay, I have no idea how something like this looks like in reality, but that's a lot. Okay, when people online, when people on social media are telling you that they're running DeepSeek on their computer and it works like a charm, in fact, they're talking about these models that are completely different. Okay, it's not the same model. I'll explain shortly why. And in fact, they're most likely talking about these three models because I don't know who has the hardware to run the 14 billion one. Okay, it's too much VRAM. Okay, you need a lot of graphics cards to make it work. Okay, so even if the 70 billion parameter model cannot run on consumer hardware, just imagine how the 671 billion one can. Okay, it can't. Okay, it can't. It's not gonna happen. So that's misconception number one. What people call Deepseek R1 is actually Deepseek R1 distilled. Okay, now without getting into too much technical details, when they tell you that they're using the Deepseek R1 with 1.5 billion parameters, which is what we'll be using today, they actually mean they're using a model named Qwen, which is not DeepSeek. Okay, so what DeepSeek did is taking a pre-trained model named Qwen, okay, which is the exact model we used, in this tutorial of mine, and they fine-tuned it with some information, with some training data that DeepSeek created. Okay, so it is not a DeepSeek model. It's just fine-tuned to how do I even say it? Fine-tuned to similar output that DeepSeek gives you. Okay, and we will talk about the output shortly. So you can't run it on your system. That's my point. Great, so we cloned this model to our system. We have everything here. We slightly looked at the code, but not too much. So let's start with the environment itself, which you can find inside the Docker file. Let's open it with brackets or some other code editor. Sorry, I'm bugging out. I'm not used to do it live. Too many distractions. I see comments. People are writing stuff about 96 gigabytes of RAM, and I can't. I just really want to comment, but I can't. Later, we'll do it later in the end of this stream. Okay, so the first thing we see here is the environment setup, and this is why Docker is so handy because you can just load all the pip install commands you need into this lovely Docker file. You can load the version of Python that you want to use. You can even load the command that you use to run it, and you store it on your system, and that's it. And anytime you can create a container out of it. Okay. Now, I already see that there's an issue here. Sorry, guys. Now, if you'd like to run the file that I created, which is what we'll do first, okay, the main DeepSeek file, we will need to make some changes to our Docker file. So the first thing we'll need to do is everywhere you see main, we change it to main_DeepSeek. Okay, there you go. We have it here and we have it here. Now, PY. Now, another issue we have here, and it's something I'm just now noticing. It's an issue that the repository itself has. When we give commands to our entry point, we encapsulate them in a list, okay? And we encapsulate them in a string. We separate them with a comma. And this is how we run an endpoint, okay? My apologies, that was my oopsie. So now if we save this file, we will run DeepSeek on our computer. If you're suspicious of my code, let's review it quickly together, this main DeepSeek file. So what we have here, okay, so first of all, we need the dependencies. We need to import transformers, Hugging Face transformers, which is the method we use to pull this model and download it. We have Torch or PyTorch, which is the framework that we use to run this model. And probably that's the framework that created the model. And also we use a library named STY because what my code generates is a console-based application. And in the console, unless you specify that you want a specific color, everything will be white. Okay, my app has yellow, green, blue, whatever you want, and STY helps us change the text color in the console. So that's it. Then we check, okay, we check if there's a GPU present on the system. In my case, there is a GPU. If you don't have a GPU, I don't know if you can run it on the CPU. You can try. I highly recommend, definitely do. But if your GPU is CUDA compatible and it can be used for a process named inference, or the process of giving a prediction, providing you an answer to your question, then we will use the GPU. If you don't have, a compatible GPU, or if you did not set up CUDA properly, then the device will be CPU. And on my channel, there's so many resources where I show you how to do it, how to set up your GPU, how to set it up in a Docker container. So many. If you need it, we will talk about it at the very end. Okay, I will share it once again in the end of the video. Okay, so the first thing we have here is a pipeline. Okay, this is something that Hugging Face provides us. Okay, and in my case, in the case of my app, did I turn off my microphone? No. Okay, sorry. In the case of my app, we are using it for text generation for a chatbot, okay? And then we specify the name of the model. In my case, as you see, Deepseek R1 distilled Quen, 1.5 billion parameters. Now, if you have a 4090 at home, I highly suggest, hold on, where was this Hugging Face thing? I highly suggest to try the Quen with 7 billion parameters instead, okay, or Llama, because you'll probably be able to run it, and it's a slightly more sophisticated. It's a more sophisticated model for sure. I don't know if slightly. I cannot run the 8 billion parameters on my system for some reason, even though I should have enough RAM. It just doesn't run. Go figure. Okay. So, and then we set the device, which is what we figured out earlier. If we have a GPU, we run it on a device of GPU. If we have a CPU, we run it on CPU. There's that. Then we have an ask question function, which is a function I created. It's a custom function where we generate a response from the model. Now, this is where Quen differs from Deepseek Quen, okay? Because otherwise we would just use Quen. It's a smaller model. We don't need to change anything in the code. We can use it. But no, there's a difference between the two, and this is where the fine-tuning comes in. So if Quen returns you a response object, where only the model response is included, Deepseek returns a response object that includes thinking and saying. Okay, so it includes the thought process of the model itself, okay, how it came to these conclusions, and it includes the response. Okay, so you can ignore the thinking, you can only focus on the response, but it will generate both. Okay, and this is another misconception. Because it generates both the thinking and both the response, and you'll see how long the thinking is, okay? It will shock you. That's why it takes so much longer for this model to generate a response to users, okay? That's why, okay, so if you're following me on Twitter yesterday, on X, yesterday I posted that, the inference process needs a lot of computing power. That's what I meant, and we will see it shortly. Physically, now I'm explaining it in code. Great. So what we do here, and this is something I've done yesterday, we split the response that we get from the model, okay? We split it when we see the closing tag of think, okay? So when the model starts thinking, it starts with a think tag, just like HTML, and when it finishes thinking, it ends with a \think, okay? So when we see this \think, we split the response in half, okay? And the first part, we call it think. The second part, we call it say. And that's the distinction in my code. So what we do with this think and say is first we strip all the new line characters, all the spaces, all the things that we don't really want to see. We strip them. And when it comes to the thinking response, we also replace the think tag with nothing. And then we get the thinking response itself. You'll see it shortly. And then when it comes to the saying, you don't need to remove the thinking component because it doesn't have it. We just keep the response, we strip it from all the spaces, and then we display it. Okay, now the thinking will be displayed in green because that's what we're using STY for, this library that we talked about at the very top. And then we display the response itself in yellow. Okay, easy peasy. Then the message itself. Now, I gave my chatbot some specific instructions. You can change them. Okay, so for me, it's a friendly chatbot named Chatty. It's Did I touch my microphone again? Sorry, I need to stop moving my fingers. You are a friendly chatbot named Chatty. Okay, and you can tell it, please introduce yourself and add, how can I help you today at the end of the response. Okay, so that's the only instructions I'm giving to this model. Now, you can think, okay, you can change this to you are a cowboy in the wild, wild west. You can change it to anything you'd like. You're a nasty, nasty customer server representative. You're a Karen. You know, you can change it to so many fun stuff. Please play with it on your end. I'm just going to leave it as is. So let's save everything. Oh, and then we have the end where we call my ask question, which is what I explained you right over here. That's the function we talked about earlier. Okay, and this function receives a message. Now, this message is what we will input into our terminal. Okay, so it's the prompt that the user provides, right? And then we have this while loop that happens until a certain condition is met. Now, the condition here is if the user types exit, then this loop disappears and then the application collapses, okay? Otherwise, it will continue asking questions and you will continue chatting with this chatbot, okay? You will update the content of this message object, okay? So instead of please introduce yourself, you will see the user prompt, okay, that we will input very soon. And yeah, and you'll just keep asking questions and keep asking questions, and that's basically the code. Nothing shady, okay? So even if you're, and on top of it, we're running it in a Docker container. Great, I hope it explains it. If not, let me know in the comments after. I'll try to explain it even more. Or you can just check out my short. Let me pull it out. I'll show you the short. I'll just share it. That makes more sense. That's the short. I'll copy it. I'll paste it, and then you'll have some nice instructions as well. There you go. The short is in the live chat. Beautiful, beautiful. So let's run it. How do we run it? Well, let's clear the terminal. Let's do it nicely. Okay, we are already inside our chatbot Quen directory, what we just cloned from GitHub. And then when we're here, we will type docker build, because we need to build a container, you know, based on these instructions of mine. Docker build -t. Hold on, I need some help. I forgot. Sorry, it happens. You don't need to memorize everything when it comes to code. But the lucky part is that, you know, in my GitHub repository, you can have all these commands, can just copy and paste them like so. Okay, so docker build -t chatbot dot. Okay, so what we're doing here, let me paste it here. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're building an image. Okay, we call in a container, we call this container chatbot, okay? And we include all the files, you know, in this lovely directory of ours. Right? Easy peasy. Let's give it a run, enter. And it's gonna take some time. It doesn't take a lot of time on my end because I created it in advance. I didn't want you to sit here and wait, sorry guys. I should have done it. I should have showed you just how long it takes to make it work. But that's okay, we'll do it another time. Now, once we've built our image, we'll navigate back to my repository, and we will copy this docker run command. Now, this is the command you run if you have a CUDA compatible GPU, okay? If you don't have a CUDA compatible GPU, you need to remove the flag of GPUs equals all, okay? Because it's not gonna work. You need to have a GPU if you wanna make it work, okay? Let's give it a run. Docker run -it, which means a detached mode. And then we have our GPU's flag on, and we are running the chatbot container we just built. Let's press enter. And from now on, it's going to take some time because it needs to download this model on our system. Now, it will obviously run it locally. Now, we're not going to run it on a web. We will download it to this encapsulated environment, to this secure container of ours. And from this container, it will run. We don't want to download it to our system because it kind of defeats the purpose of the container. We want to download it into the container. That's exactly what's happening. And now I have time for all your questions, probably. And by the way, the bigger your model, the more parameters it has, the longer it will take. So I think right now we're downloading a single file that is about 4 GB in size, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Um, but if you're using the bigger versions of the model, that would be a few 4 GB files, sometimes 8 GB files, and it will be downloaded to your system. Now, I tried running the 14 GB model. It was wishful thinking. Sorry, the 14 billion parameters. What am I talking about? 14 billion parameters model. It was a wishful thinking because I have nowhere near the VRAM that it requires to run. Nowhere near. I tried. And yeah, so 93, we're almost there. 94, 95. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Ooh, ooh. Okay, device set to CUDA. So that means that I have GPU, my GPU drivers are proper. Everything should run as expected, and my model will be running on GPU and not on CPU. And that's what I mean when I say colors. Okay, so let me actually minimize it so you see just how much the model thinks. Okay, and that's why it's a bit challenging when it comes to inference. Okay, so this is all thoughts. Okay, so yellow is the model response and green is what the model thought. Okay, so this is what the model thought about the initial input. I thought I have, it's here in Sublime. About the initial input of please introduce yourself and add how can I help you today at the end of the response. Okay, this is the amount of thinking it did to figure out what I said. Just so we're clear. And this is what it actually said, which is what I asked it to say. Now, Quen would just respond with the yellow part, but the DeepSeek version of Quen responds with the green and the yellow, and that's why it takes so long. Okay, so let's ask it a question that it's so fundamental that everybody knows an answer. Okay, there's not a lot of thinking. How? Okay, let's enlarge it. Let's be optimistic. How many days in a week? Okay, kindergarten question. Kindergarten question. Let's see how long it takes for it to answer. Okay, that was pretty fast, but look at that. To generate this, you had to receive this. Now, this is actually running very, very quickly. When I ran it on my laptop 4090, it took so long, you guys. You can't even imagine. I was embarrassed. I was like, how am I going to show it to them tomorrow if it runs so slow? It's going to be a very boring live stream. But this actually, this is surprising. It generated a response fast. Wow. What else can we ask? How many planets in the galaxy? Okay, let's say in the Milky Way, to be a bit more specific. I hope I spelled it right. Okay, let's give it a run. Okay, this takes a bit longer. Oh, that's okay. Maybe there's a lot of thinking involved. Oh, and mind you, I know why it was so fast because I already asked it. That was my demo question. I already asked it before, how many days in a week? Something already prompted the model, but I don't know if it's related. But yeah, you see, it takes a lot of time to count the planets. There you go. So we have a very long response and we have a very long thinking pattern, a much longer thinking pattern. Like, what am I supposed to do with this text? Now, I know that it's an advancement that the model can somewhat reason about what it does, but this is not like reasoning. This is searching. So if you actually go through this input and you read it, you see that the model searches an answer. It doesn't pull it, from the ether. It has to search through it. And then all the search results are written here and they call it thinking. This is not thinking. This is searching. Yeah, so don't get confused with it. And then to generate an answer, you need to wait all this time. And we're talking about I would say the smallest model. I don't think there's anything smaller than Quinn 1.5 billion parameters. And that's the exact model we actually ran in the short. And it took less time to figure out a response. So know what to tell you. So Simon is asking, our thoughts are search results. Not exactly, because the search results should be the response itself. It should be the part in yellow. Okay, so realistically, the thinking portion, it should be the reasoning portion. But from what I read, when I actually read it, and I think and I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the background, that's the searching process. Okay, that's the algorithm that the model follows to come up with the response, which is really fun if you're a researcher. This is great if you do so for research purposes. But for user purposes, for you and I, we're not going to see this part. We don't care about the green part. We only care about the yellow part. And if it takes twice the time or thrice the time, okay, or quadruple the time to generate the thinking pattern and the response, then why is this model superior to anything else? Now, I know that it's faster when it comes to training. Yeah, they can train it very fast, but the training process, it doesn't happen on your computer. We didn't train this model. We loaded it pre-trained. So from a user's perspective, what we really care about is how long it takes this model to generate an answer. And please let me know, please send me some questions to ask this model in the chat. I forgot to ask you guys. Send it with 3 stars in front of your question, so I'll know that you're asking, that's what you're asking, okay? 3-star emojis ahead of your question, and I'm gonna ask this model whatever you want me to ask. Any kind of prompt, just please don't break my computer. Don't ask it something too complicated because it's gonna think for a lifetime, okay? We will test it together, and that way you can avoid downloading it on your system. We can just do the experiment on my system. It's already on, we might as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of things. I'm being rebellious. Oh, wow. You sure? You sure, Badger? Rebellious. Okay. Okay, if something happens, then Badger, it's your fault. And I meant 3-star emojis, okay? Not 3 asterisks. But that's okay. I got you. I understood. I understood everything. Okay. It answered. Let's see. Okay, so do you want to look at the thinking? That's a lot of thinking. All right, I'm trying to figure out how to respond to Chatty's line where she says, I'm being rebellious. I need to think about what that means and how to respond appropriately. Geez Louise, why did you need to think about that? That's pretty obvious, okay? First, I should understand what rebellious means. Okay, that's a good thought. It could mean being rebellious, which is about breaking rules, challenging authority, or taking risks. Or when Chatty says she's being rebellious, she's probably experiencing a desire to take an action that goes against the norms or expectations of a certain situation. So first of all, Chatty is not me. Chatty is you. Okay, I'm not Chatty. You are Chatty. That's response number 1. So there's a misunderstanding there. Maybe something's wrong. Okay, maybe I need to review my code. That's not how it works with Quen. Okay, Quen knows that Quen is Chatty. Even though we're talking to Quen right now, but a fine-tuned version of Quen that responds in the same manner that Deepseek responds. Okay, let's see. When addressing Chatty's line, when she expresses her desires to be rebellious, the appropriate response involves balancing support and caution. Here's a structured approach. Acknowledge her feelings. Okay, well, acknowledge it. You feel rebellious. I'm so proud of you. Good job, Maria. Good. You remembered all your lines. You answered all your questions. Good job. Okay, offer support. Like whoever understands the reference understands it. Okay, offer support. Okay, I will support you with your rebellious tendencies. Be cautious because she's probably dangerous. She's rebellious. And then use respectful language. Okay, be nice to me. Dangerous, right? That's what you get. I don't know. Is that better than ChatGPT? Probably not, because the model that's better than ChatGPT is the one that I'll need a few data centers to run. Okay, it needs. I asked Grok. Okay, it needs 1.3 terabyte of VRAM uh, for inference. Okay, which is not something that all GPUs can generate. Maybe they can, but you'll need a whole bunch of them. Okay, if you have the new GPUs, like the newer GPUs, you need less of them. Okay, who is Maria Shah? Holy smokes, that's a great question, Willie. Let's do it. Who is Maria Shah? Kind of scared. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of scared. That way, it will tell you if it trained on YouTube or not. That's a great way to check it. Or LinkedIn or wherever I am. Um, wow, Sandy, that's a tough question. Okay, I have Sandy's question here. Maria Shah is a popular. What? Me? Nobody recognizes me ever. Okay, don't believe it. It's lies. It's all lies. Okay. Maria Shah is a popular social media personality known for her content creation in niche spaces such as technology and fashion. I do fashion? I guess I have a berry t-shirt. It's a lovely, lovely t-shirt. Sometimes I'm wearing Docker t-shirts and Polars and NVIDIA t-shirts. So yeah, fashion, okay. Okay, merch, let's call it merch. And she has been active on platforms like TikTok. I have not been active on platforms like TikTok. People did upload my videos there. My friends, folks from podcasts, but I'm not active there. I don't have a TikTok. I'm waiting for Kevin O'Leary to buy it. Okay. And then when Kevin buys it, I'll join. What else? Okay. Instagram. I haven't been on Instagram for the past 2 years. I do have an Instagram, but it's inactive. And YouTube. So why YouTube is less? Mostly on YouTube. Um, Promoting her products and engaging in online communities, while her exact role and projects are not detailed. That's where most of my stuff are. That's less people know me for Maria Shah, more people know me for that's the chick that solved the Instagram scraping problem. You know, did you see her video on on web scraping Instagram? She's recognized for her active and engaging content, which is likely contributes to her popularity and reach. Okay, I wish I was as popular as Gwen thinks I am. Okay, so Sandy, I think I need to copy your comment. Okay, I'm gonna do it. How can I copy? You mean I cannot copy? Wait, no, I can. Sorry, guys, it's a brain fart. Okay, Sandy, I'm asking, can you plot an infrastructure decay curve based on condition and effective life remaining? I think it might break my computer, Sandy. So if anything, you're gonna be in trouble. I'm joking. I'm joking. It will be fine. We do it from Docker. We do it from Docker. So did it know it offline, or is that from thinking? So I haven't tested it offline. I should have brought my laptop to test how it works online. But the rumor says that it doesn't need an internet connection to run. So, oh, if my laptop wasn't downstairs, we would do it right now. Because I would put it in. So the way to test it is to put it in airplane mode, and then you have no connection to anything, and then repeating these actions that we just created. Okay. Works on mine. Okay, so it works on Sandy's computer without internet. Great. So to plot infrastructure decay curve using condition and effective, determine the base value. Okay, so it gives you the algorithm, it gives you the formula, but it can't really plot it, if it answers your question. But yeah, that's cool. How long it took to think? Okay, that's a lot of thinking. Yeah, I think that's the longest thought the model had. And I mean, why doing it with strings? You know, if I were to design it, and this is my only critique about it, because I think it's pretty cool that you can trace the thinking pattern of the model, but why wouldn't it be organized in some kind of a mind map, or even like a maybe some tree of some sort, rather than just as a string, because to produce all these tokens, it's very costly when it comes to processing power. Producing each and every one of these words makes the response time longer. So if you arrange it in some kind of a graph-like or tree-like structure, instead of specifically speaking with language, with what the model does, maybe it can just give you some pointers. Okay, searching for formula. Okay, you have a specific token for search. I don't know. You can. There's so many ways of making it more efficient and making it better. That's why I don't understand why all the markets crashed yesterday because of this model. Why? Like, okay, it's faster when it comes to training, but besides training, there are so many other processes that the model does. And honestly, if it's faster with training, if it's a bit more efficient with training, that's great, because it means that the rest of the models can use the same principles for them, right? Like, it's not unique to this model. You can adapt other architecture to their training algorithm, right? So because it's open source, right? And at first, so here's why I was so skeptical yesterday. Sandy, this is for you. This is why yesterday I was like, I don't know if I want to touch it. I don't know if I want to use it. Because if you, okay, let's look for Deepseek R1 on GitHub. Okay, if you find Deepseek R1 on GitHub and you try to look at the code, there is no code here. Okay, you can scroll down, you can look at all these charts, you can look at the summary, you can look at a bunch of stuff, right? It's all here, but okay, there's a lot of benchmarks. But if you try to look for the code, let's go for the only directory we have here. There's only a JPEG here. There's no code. So yesterday, the reason I was skeptical is I was thinking, okay, how can it be an open source project and nobody can see the code? Like, how can it be, right? But then after it's been a whole day, and I went on LinkedIn and I saw the CEO of Hugging Face talking about DeepSeek. I was like, oh, so the code is probably on Hugging Face. And yes, it is on Hugging Face. So if you go right now, if you try to look for the DeepSeek distilled Quen, let's look it up. Search. There you go. It's here. Let's look it up. That's the distilled Quen. We can go to files, and all the files are here. Okay, that's the files we are downloading when we generate the Docker container. It automatically downloads it on our system. And if you're looking for, there's a Python file here, or there was a Python file here. No, it's not in figures. Tokenizer JSON model. No, yesterday I saw it. I don't know where, but I saw a Python file. Okay, sorry guys. So it doesn't look like there's much code here. Okay, never mind. I saw something. Maybe it was the Quen code. What did I press? What on earth did I press that it showed me this code? I probably just pressed on Quen itself. And then I went to the files. Okay, sorry guys, brain fart. But yeah, the code was there. The code was there 100%. Otherwise, I wouldn't be running it on my system. I would think it's too shady. Yeah, maybe it was updated. I'm not sure, folks. Ricardo, you could be right. Okay, more questions. A kid changes his math grade. Okay, let's check it. Wow, that's a math question. Okay, so I can't read your username. Either Chinese or Korean username, not sure. Let's try to question. A kid changed his math grade from 83 to 88, but his dad was mad and say, you change your grade with green pen, which doesn't match the original red grade. Why is his dad has a breakdown later? Let's see. Okay, let's see. So yeah, and yesterday was such a crazy day, you guys. So I think this is where we change it from an informative video to kind of a opinion-based question answering video. Okay, if you're looking for the technical stuff, that would be at the very beginning of this tutorial, at the very beginning of this stream. I don't know if you can fast backwards there, but you'll definitely be able to once the stream ends. So as you see, Deepseek will wait a bit before it gives us an answer. I understand how it needs a lot of thinking to answer that. And because it thinks more than it says, thinks, we're going to give it the respect. We're going to give it the time that it needs to generate an output. Okay. Oh, you broke it. Oh, you broke it. Your question broke the model. Okay. We're gonna have to look into it. Okay, but let's run it once again. What did you do? Oh no. Oh no. So don't ask this question about a kid and his grade and his dad. Something is off. And it probably has to do with the double strings, single strings, I would think. Because you speak with this model through strings. And sometimes when you have double quotes inside the string that is encapsulated in double quotes, it will give it some hard time. Okay, so let's try to avoid these quotes. Let's ask it again. We're going to give it another shot, but without the quotes. Okay, so it has limitations when it comes to quotes. We understand that. Great. So his dad is Deepseek. Okay. Did the model have a breakdown? Yeah, but I think it has to do with the prompt itself. We're gonna do an experiment. I don't think that it bugged out, because you know what usually happens is that it's broken down. I'm reading your comments. Okay. I'm gonna pop out your comments here just so you can see what I'm laughing about. Okay, there you go. Maybe I'm gonna move this here. Me rearranging my screen, okay, for maximum impact. Here are your comments. Let's do it like that. Great. Is it running on your local machine? Are there any minimal specs? So my machine has an RTX 4080 with 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and that's enough to run the Qwen R1 with 1.5 billion parameters. Okay, let's try this question again, but let's get rid of all the quotes, and maybe we can turn them into single quotes. Okay, single quotes. And why single quotes? Because if you look at the way that my question is phrased, where's my response? Yeah, I don't think you're going to see my response from here. But this is very likely, the message is very likely encapsulated in double quotes. I think so. That's my hypothesis, but we'll see. Oh, there you go. It answered, so it doesn't break. Sorry, Badger. Sorry, my apologies. I kind of, it works. It works. Your father breakdown is due to his concern about the color change, indicating the discrepancy. Okay, so if you fail, but the color of your pen is a perfect match to the color of the pen your teacher used, then it's perfectly fine. His problem was with the color. You know, that's the issue. If nobody could tell that you made an oopsie, your oopsie is fine. He likely feels the new color and the letter grade are inconsistent. It's the inconsistency. It's not the merit. Come on. Leading him to take action to correct the grade. The breakdown stems from his awareness of the color change, not the fact that his kid is cheating on an exam. Okay. So, and obviously, once again, folks, we are not talking about the model that is smarter than ChatGPT. Okay, this model that we are talking to right now, and I'm going to show you this list once again, just to kind of reiterate it. That's Qwen Math 1.5. Okay, that's the Deepseek R1 Hugging Face repository. When people are talking about the super smart models that are now a big concern to companies like OpenAI. They're talking about these two. But look at these parameters. Look at how many parameters it has. We are barely running. Okay, I am barely running a 7 billion parameters model. Barely. And in fact, let's do it live. Let's do it live. Let's close this. I should have wrote exit. Sorry. Okay, let's clear this terminal. Let's go back to my code. Main DeepSeek. And then instead of the 1.5 billion, let's try to load the 7 billion. Let's just make sure that I'm specifying the right name. 7 billion. Let's copy it just in case. Who knows? It's right over here. Let's paste it. That's the name. Deepseek R1 distilled Quen. Exactly. That's the exact name. Let's save it and let's rebuild our Docker container once again. Let's pull our almost most recent command. Let's give it another build. And then let's give it another run. And this one will take longer to run. Obviously, it will download more files. See, when you see these type of files, it means that your model was fractioned into different files. It's just too big to upload. It's usually around the size of 8 GB. And oh, yeah, you can see it's 8 GB. The previous file was 4 GB, just for comparison's sake. And because it is fractioned, you know that there's another file going to load after. So at least another file. I have a feeling there's going to be 4 of them. And how we can find out how many files, just copy the name of this model. We search for it on Hugging Face. Okay. And then we go to the files. And it should be here, but it's not here. That's the 1.5 billion. Come on. See, it didn't make any sense. Okay, we go into the files. And there you go. We have 1, 2 of these fractionated files. Okay, so it's going to be about 16 GB in size. I know this one is 6 GB and not 8, so it's going to be 14. Okay, that's how we figure it out. And by the way, what I showed you right now on Quen and on DeepSeek, it will work on any kind of model that you load through Hugging Face. There are minimal adjustments that you'll need to do, but you can use this code of mine as your basis. Now, in addition, you don't need to make a console-based application. You can actually make a full-blown GUI application through Docker. You can encapsulate it inside Docker where the model lives and your application lives. And then the way to share it, you upload it to Docker Hub, and then everybody can just download your image. It's amazing. It's like GitHub, but Docker Hub. So there's so many really cool ways in which you can incorporate these type of very fancy models in your applications. Just keep in mind, there's a big gap between what you can incorporate, based on your computer hardware, and what companies with giant server rooms and supercomputers can do. Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about my day. Okay, my intention was to skip this whole DeepSeek saga. I don't cover what's new and viral, unfortunately. I usually cover the things that you ask me to cover, and you guys have asked me to cover a playwright tutorial that I'm editing. I was supposed to finish editing it yesterday, and by the way, CAPTCHA solving and proxies are included in this tutorial. So, and I give you a free coupon. Okay, I know that proxies cost money, but you're gonna get a free coupon for way more money than following my tutorial will actually cost you. It will cost you about 15 cents, to follow along, but I give you, add a few zeros, and then you get the amount I give you. I don't want to give you a lot of spoilers, but yeah, that's what I was working on yesterday. Playwright, it's on my mind, and I'm so motivated, you guys. I had I had a conversation with a YouTuber who's doing it for a very, very long time. And I asked for his advice and he gave me a lot of motivation. So yesterday I was like, let's do it. Let's go. Let's do it. And then from the beginning of the day until the very end of it, there was no way for me to concentrate because everybody was bugging me about this. Okay. So first things first, I woke up, I went to YouTube Studio, and then I see all my friends from the Gen AI space are talking about DeepSeek. Everyone. I'm like, okay, it looks like a cool model and stuff. What is this DeepSeek? I looked it up. Okay, open source model, Okay, great. Like when? Great, fantastic. I love, open source. I'll support it anytime. Okay. Based in China, I know, who is not known for their open source initiatives. Okay. But still, it's an open source model that everybody can use and it's pretty good. But then things started to become a bit unbelievable. Okay. When they started telling me that how fast it trained and the fact that it doesn't need sophisticated hardware to run, this is where I started to lose it. This is where I was like, okay, I don't know if it's that good. It means that it's too good to be true, and it means that there's some kind of a catch there, there's some kind of a trap, and I'm not touching it. So yesterday on Twitter in the morning I posted, I'm not going to talk about it, I'm just going to sit it out for now, and I'm going to look how things transpire. Okay. um, will people find some vulnerabilities? I don't know. Will there be some other stuff that they discover? I have no idea, but just, you know what, I'm just going to wait. That was my initial thought. And then I get a phone call from my spouse, who is not a technical guy. He has nothing to do with high tech. He's an HVAC refrigeration mechanic, okay? And he started a new job where he doesn't even look at his phone. I can be texting him, I can be calling him 14 phone calls, one after the other. He wouldn't even notice, okay? But yesterday, he's calling me. Like, what? He picked up his phone and from his initiative is calling me. It must be an emergency. Okay, I freaked out. I pick up the phone. Mario, what's going on? And he's telling me, Maria, there's this new AI model. And everybody's saying that it destroys NVIDIA. I'm like, what? AI model destroys NVIDIA? What? Yes, the stock market is insane. People are going nuts. And if they talk about it in the air refrigeration industry, I can imagine what was going on, in the tech industry space that I was trying to ignore. Okay, so I looked into it a bit more, and then I discovered that this model can run. Oh, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I think my camera is about to disappear. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just my computer is very slow because it's trying to load this giant model. Oh, shoot. Am I back? Am I back? Is it proper? Yes, it's going back. Should we stop it? Or no, it's gonna load quickly and we will get back. So my apologies, you guys. This is what loading the 7 billion parameter model is like. Okay. Yeah, the model is taking possession of my computer. My apologies. Let's see. Let's see. It downloaded on my system and now it generates a response. And apparently it takes a long time to generate this response. Okay, so we'll give it a shot and I'm going to turn it off. Obviously, this is not normal. I don't want this stream to lag. I just want you to see how it works in real time, how long it actually takes when you use a bigger portion of the model. And if this is how long it takes for 7 billion parameters, you just imagine how much it takes for almost 100 times that. And this is the actual model itself. That's the model that they're saying that will not require fancy GPUs. Okay. And I'm supposed to believe that. Hold on. Come on. Generate a response. Okay. Sorry, guys. I feel so bad, but I really want to try that. What can I do? What can I do? Let me ask you if you can hear me right, at least. I know that the video is lagging, but is the sound okay? Can you guys hear me? Can you please confirm? Badger, Sydney, please, somebody let me know. If not, I'm just going to turn it off. Hold on. The sound is okay. Perfect. So you can hear me. The seeing part is a bit problematic, but at least you can hear me. Okay. Great. Great. Thank you, folks. This is amazing. And yeah, the video is laggy because it generates a response. So it's downloaded the model. You can see that both fractions of the checkpoint were downloaded, and now we are at the stage where the model generates a response. What does it generate a response to? It generates a response to my please introduce yourself and add how can I help you today at the end of the response. That's what it generates, because that's the initial prompt I gave to this model. Hopefully. Okay, let's see how long it's gonna take. Let's see. Yikes. Yikes, you guys. This is the model that will, I quote, not need fancy GPUs. No, this is a lie. This is a huge misrepresentation of what we're dealing with here. And that's why I was so upset yesterday. Come on, generate a response, and then I can continue with the story. It's going to be a very boring story if you can't properly see me. Buy NVIDIA. No, I can't afford it. I cannot afford it. This is local DeepSeek. Yes, this is local DeepSeek. But again, this is the 7 billion distilled version, which is basically Qwen. It is a model named Qwen. The DeepSeek picked up, they took it pre-trained, and they fine-tuned it with some DeepSeek output. It's so hard to pronounce it. DeepSeek. Yeah, so basically they took a model named Qwen and they trained it to provide responses in the same way that DeepSeek would provide responses, which means that it divides the response into a thinking component and into a response component. And then the model tells you how it thinks. And we saw these examples in the beginning of the video. I am not using not a 3090 or a 4090. I'm using a RTX 4080. For now, I'm going to upgrade the system, obviously, pretty soon. I want a 50 series. And I was very close to buying the 4090 on Black Friday. I just knew that, the CES is coming and Jensen is going to have a nice speech. And in the speech, he'll probably announce the 50 series. So I said, you know what? I'm not buying the 40s. Sorry, folks. Ooh, I'm better. But yeah, that was a whole saga. So I'm glad I didn't buy it. Holy smokes, we have 200 people watching. Thank you so much, folks. Thanks for being here. It's amazing. I'm super happy to see you. Okay, get a cheap AMD GPU, 32 gigabytes. I have a problem with AMD GPU because it's very hard to, it's not really adapted to CUDA. Even if you're trying to adapt it to CUDA, you're still using CUDA commands. So I feel like it's kind of it's a weird solution to utilizing your GPU, because CUDA is a proprietary system to NVIDIA GPUs. And if my code is somewhat kind of bypassing it in a weird way, but it's still using the CUDA commands, I just wonder what kind of shenanigans there are in the middle. I don't know how efficient it is. I know that the rumor says that they're very fast and they're very cheap, but I am yet to experience it. Maybe one day I will, and then I can give you better answers. So, okay, so it still generates a response, you guys. I don't know when it started. Did somebody check the time when it started generating this response? It's such a slow model. Holy smokes. I mean, I used Llama with 8 billion parameters before, but I used it on a fancy system, so it's not really comparable. On this computer, I haven't used anything that is above 2.5 billion parameters. So, but I didn't expect it to take so long. So imagine you are now embedding this model inside your customer service application. Okay, you put this model inside your own website, and then a customer is now typing, a question, and it takes, what is it, already 10 minutes? It's trying to generate a response. That's not normal times. Yeah. So whoever tells you it's fast, I don't know. I don't think I think they just repeat what somebody else says. They didn't really check it themselves, or they're running it on a cloud system that has incredible amounts of GPUs, the fanciest, the best, the craziest GPUs ever. But yeah. Okay, does the Docker image include the Python script for generating the chat? Yeah, it includes everything. So if you follow along the tutorial in the same way that we followed along from the beginning of this video, it includes everything. Everything. It includes the app itself. So this console application that comes in different colors, that's what comes in the Docker image. I should probably upload it into an image and then get you to pull it directly. without cloning the code. I don't know if I have time today. I really want to finish this playwright tutorial. Yeah, so it still generates. I mean, come on, you're so slow, and my entire computer is slow. Do you guys? Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. Let's make a poll. I'm gonna actually run a poll. How do I do it? How do I do it? Okay, start a poll. Okay, should we? Let's say, should we wait for Deepseek to respond? Okay, and we have wait or shut it down. Okay, start poll. Let's see what you guys are thinking, okay? This poll will end in about a minute. Okay, that's a tough one. Shut it down, wait, or shut it down. Let me know. It takes long because it's downloading all your files into a Chinese servers. It can't. It has no access to my computer because we run it from a Docker container. It has no access to my files. It can only access the files of the container, which in my case are these 4 little files. That's it. That's all the files it can access. So it's not a biggie. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. What? Wait, 63%. Wow, you guys are insisting. Okay, we will. If you want to, we will. I'll just drink some coffee. I'll just drink some coffee. Most of you are probably not watching it. You're just hearing it. So just gonna say things. Norman is here. What's up, my boy? What's up, my son? Good to see you. Why is it taking so long? Sandy, that's because we're using the 7 billion parameter model this time. And before we used the 1.5 billion parameters. So, and we waited quite a bit, but multiply it by, what is it, like 4? And that's why it takes so long. So that's how long it takes to generate a response. So as soon as this was downloaded, as soon as shard number 2 was downloaded, we then combined the shards into a single file, okay? And then we loaded them as a checkpoint, okay? And then from the moment that this command, the very last command of generating config.json finished running, we are now dealing with the response itself. That's how long it takes the model to respond. And that's why everything is so laggy. Again, I apologize, you guys. It's laggy because the model is huge. It's huge and it's slow. But again, I'm running it on relatively simple hardware. I'm running it on consumer hardware, a 4080 RTX. So if I would run it on an H100 or an H800 or whatever it is, that enterprise folks are running it on, it would have been faster. But again, this just showcases that there is no elimination of fancy GPUs in this process, even when it comes to the very small models. The model itself, Deepseek itself, the crazy biggest Deepseek, the full model is 671 billion parameters. Okay, this is just 7. So just imagine what we're talking about. So all this buzz of NVIDIA stock dropping yesterday was absolutely ridiculous, okay? And I'll get back to it after we get a response. 66% of you want to wait. So yeah. Okay, so folks using it with Mac, that's great. I read your comments. Oh, Sandy has the Ada. Ha! I almost got an Ada. Instead of the 4080, I got it as a gift from NVIDIA. I did a nice video for them a while back. I think it was QDF Pandas, if I'm not mistaken. Never mind. But we were talking about getting a GPU because I had an older one. And they wanted to send me the Ada 6000. And then last moment I said, you know what? No, send me the 4080. Because I'm gaming a lot. I don't show it on the channel. But when you're gaming, you want to have a different kind of GPU. I don't think the Ada 6000 would be good for gaming in particular. Uh, you're also video encoding on the same GPU? I don't think so. I don't think my GPU is involved in the streaming process. Um, not sure what's going on. I was hoping you guys would want to shut it down. Now that you want to wait, what am I gonna do? You have time to game? Well, once in a while. Once in a while, not so much. Um, right now, it's been a very long time since I gamed. The last time I gamed properly, it was when I got my Legion, which was almost a year ago. My Legion laptop. Okay, Deepseek 8 billion on my 4080 is about 100 tokens per second. That's crazy. I can't even run it. Look how long it takes to run it. What, you're not running it from Docker? I'm asking Jet S115. 180 Ti is not supposed to get a response. I don't think you can generate it. Let's see. Yes, in Docker. Wow. Wow. It's much faster than what's going on here. If you're into co-op games, we'll have to pull you into my group whenever you play games again. It's a hoot. Okay, yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. For sure. I think I saw you. I think I saw you play with Josh on the server. We have a Discord server, by the way. You can go in there. You can chat with us. We're not as active as we used to be, but we used to do some gaming sessions there. I remember the guys played some Call of Duty, and I didn't have this Call of Duty version, but now I have, years after. Okay, come on. You want to run, model? Come on. You want to drive me crazy, or you want to run? What's up, man? What's up? Oh, device set to use CUDA. Hallelujah. There's progress. There's progress. Come on. Okay, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. It's finally happening. We are after the tokenizer stage. Okay, hallelujah. That's right. Olama is great in Docker. Yeah, Olama is pretty cool. I agree. I agree. Temperature 2.6. Okay, yeah, I haven't done it. I use the default settings. That's maybe why it takes so long. Yeah, you can generally kind of this 7 billion parameter one. I thought it's going to be easy peasy. I think it's going to take so long and it's going to be such a nightmare to run. But again, what I'm running right now is just the base settings. The larger the model, the slower the response. Absolutely, absolutely. And this model is quite large. Very, very large. Okay, device set to CUDA. Come on, come on. You set to CUDA. Yes, you are. We know it. We know it. Now generate a response model. We don't have all day long. Okay, okay. Come on, generate a response. Cheese Louise. So what do you guys think of my new microphone if I'm already here? Is it better than the old one? Can you hear me better? Can you hear the what is it? It has this built-in noise reduction or something. I wonder how it's heard on your end. Obviously, when the stream ends, I'm gonna listen to the recording of this stream and some other streams and compare it, but just want to see it from your perspective. I tried out the 32 billion parameter model. Well, you must have tried it online or something, or you have a very, very nice computer. What are you, Dr. Evil? Or Mojo Jojo, someone who wants to take over the world with your computing power? I couldn't run the 14. I know it was an ambitious thing to try. I did try it. Miserably failed. Miserably. Honestly, couldn't tell if you had a different mic. It's been too long. Okay, well, sorry. I know. I wasn't streaming because I had some issues with my computer and my camera. I had to rewire everything. I had to replace all my fans because for some reason my motherboard just keeps burning all the RGB in the fans. It was really, really rough. And it's not the first time it happens. And still, my RGBs are not fully back. But this, I have a feeling that it has to do with the Aura, with the Armory crate, the Rogue Republic of Gamers Armory crate. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this Rogue system. Can't wait to replace it. I just want to sell it as is with all the new fans and everything, and I want to create a new system altogether with zero Rogue parts. Okay, they're very expensive, but I don't think they're worth the price. I thought that because they're expensive, they're more reliable, they're better, but they're not at all. So yeah, can't wait to create a new system. That's for sure. Come on, model. Come on, just do something. Can I press it with a stick? Can I just poke it with a stick? Come on. It's a pen. It's not a stick. Work, just work. Let us continue the stream. What a mistake to try to run it, folks. Okay, we have too much skin in the game, though. I can't stop now. I can't shut it down. Like we're too invested. We're losing people on the stream, but you guys want to wait? Holy smokes! You should have voted not to wait. We're gonna generate a response eventually. Yeah, it's absolutely the reason. I have amazing internet. Really, really good internet. The reason why it's slow is ever since we're trying to run this 7 billion parameter model, Deepseek might be down. That's okay. That's not their online version. That's the local version. You're not downloading it from Deepseek. You're downloading it from Hugging Face. The team at NVIDIA is probably very frustrated by now. Yeah, I know. That's what I wanted to talk to you about before the stream started lagging because of this response. But again, I'm just demonstrating how reality and what they told you on social media doesn't match. Okay? Come on. Oh, you guys. You guys. I'm not happy with your votes. But it's a democracy, unfortunately. Even though I'm in Canada, it's not exactly a democracy anymore. But I don't know. I don't know. Can we run another poll? Can we try it again? Can we try it again after all this wait? Okay, let's do another poll. Let's do it. Okay, so uh, there are liars on the internet. Oh my god. Oh my god, especially influencers. Start a Q&A, start a poll. Okay, let's do it again. Shut it down. Okay. No or yes. Okay, start poll. Okay, please shut it down, folks. Please. I'm dying here. Okay, people are leaving the stream. Yes, okay, 100% yes. Okay, 17 votes, 59% yes. Amazing. I'm so happy. Yes, that's all I need. 50. No. Okay. Okay, it's 55. Great. Okay, I'm shutting it down. You know what? Bye-bye. That's it. Control C. C. Ah, it won't let me shut it down now. Too much skin in the game. Okay, clear. Bye. Hello. Welcome back to a normal stream. Goodbye, Quen. And yeah, don't do this mistake on your end unless you have the time. Okay, so 1.5 billion. That's all. That's all I recommend running on a consumer system. Bye-bye. Okay. Bye-bye, Paul. Okay, thank you so much, you guys, for 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 not choosing to wait with it. Okay, great. Since it says device set to CUDA, it's already downloaded. It is downloaded and it generates a response. That's what slows down the computer. Ugh, it's terrible. NVIDIA needs to give you a souped up video card so you can promote the positives. Okay, let's continue with my day. Okay, 1.5 billion got it. That's right. That's right. Orca is a proper symbol. They're at the top of the food chain. When it comes to training, not when it comes to inference, obviously. You've seen what happens with inference. And to be honest, from a perspective of, I don't work in, enterprise company, from a perspective of somebody who's using AI for personal means, you train the model only once. And then when you ship this model to production, when it's part of your website, when it's part of your system, when it's part of your customer service, let's say you have a company that sells soaps, okay? And you have this assistant that helps people figure out which soap they want. I don't know why soap, cucumbers, let's say cucumbers, okay? And then this assistant, if it takes it all this time to generate an answer, the person who asked the questions will just go, right? You're not going to stay. You're not going to wait and like 10 minutes. How much did we wait? We waited about like 20 minutes. And as we were waiting, the amount of processing power that was used to generate a response was so big that you couldn't even see the stream properly, right? And I'm streaming HD. I'm not streaming 4K. Inference is too long. And the reason why it's long is because it generates a thinking component and it generates a response component. It separates the response and therefore it generates more tokens. Okay. So when it comes to saying that, DeepSeek is superior in terms of, how it manifests in hardware, it's not true. It's superior in a very specific process called training. It is not superior in the most important process that is actually relevant to consumers, the prompt itself, right? And in fact, this is the biggest challenge of most large language models. They're very big. And in order to generate a response, they need to look into all this data they learned. They need to search it very, very well. And that's why it takes so much latency for the response to come to your end. So right now, if we're going to go to Grok, and I'll demonstrate it right now. Let's go to X. Okay, let's go to Grok. And let's ask it, how many days in a week? The same question we asked the other model. Okay, that's how long it takes to generate a response. There are 7 days in a week. It didn't tell us the thinking process. Oh, so you asked me how many days there are in a week. I'm going to think about it a bit more deeply, and I'll try to see how I can generate a response to you. Okay, so I'm going to look in my, I'm giving an example of DeepSeek. Okay, I'm going to look in my database of days, and I see that there are at least 7 days in a week. Let's see if there are any more. Or actually, there might be a better way to produce this answer. I can just look it up in my training set, and if I look it up, I can see that there are 7 days. So the days are Monday, Tuesday. How long it takes to reason about all of it, and how long it takes to just spit this response. Okay, so the inference is the most challenging part of this whole machine learning process. Okay, and if you're looking to find ways to make your inference faster, okay, I actually have great tutorials on the topic. I'm just going to pull it out here. Okay, so I hope you can see it well. I don't know if you can. Okay, I'll see it from here. If you're looking to improve your inference, you can do so with Torch Tensor RT. There you go. This video, inference with Torch Tensor RT. Hold on, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it in the chat. Okay, chat is here just so you can have it handy. And this will demonstrate how long it takes you to run inference on your CPU, how long it takes you to run it on your GPU, and how long it takes you to run it on GPU and Torch Tensor RT. Okay, 3 different ways. And if you improve this with algorithms, okay, it's much better than improving it with hardware. Okay, so if you use the right algorithms, you don't need the most advanced hardware. Okay, the only problem is we're talking about very simple models. The bigger the model, the more hardware and the more efficiency you'll need to take care of in your algorithm. So there are other solutions now. But yeah, it's a whole process. Okay, so this video that I showed you is about inference in particular, and this is the process where DeepSeek is not superior to anything. In fact, it is inferior. So people don't talk about it, and that's because people don't understand it. So either they don't understand it or they were paid to pretend like they don't understand it. So what I saw yesterday, when everybody was talking to me about like, oh, how Nvidia stock crashes, the first thing I asked myself is like, how can Nvidia stock crash if DeepSeek was trained on a whole bunch of Nvidia GPUs? Okay, how is their stock crashing if now there's a new innovation in AI? Like, I couldn't understand it. And then I was looking it up, and I'm trying to understand why it affects it negatively and not positively. And I was like, oh, well, they trained DeepSeek on older kind of GPUs. Okay, so let's see which one it was. I'm gonna ask Grok again. Let's go in here. Okay, what GPUs DeepSeek R1 was trained on? Okay, I looked it up. I can't remember. H800, I think. I can't. Okay, NVIDIA H800 GPUs. Okay, that's what it was trained on. Now, and then I see a bunch of people saying that these GPUs are so outdated. Okay, they're so efficient, they're so cheap. Okay, that's it. The stock is crashing. How much these GPUs cost? How much these GPUs cost? Tens of thousands of dollars. We're not talking about a cheap solution that people have at home. This is still pretty expensive. And just because it was trained, on these H800 GPUs with 80 gigabytes, okay, obviously not one, obviously it's a chain of them, it's a whole bunch of them. Just because they were trained on these cheaper type of GPUs, it doesn't mean that if you train it on the newer kind of GPUs, it wouldn't take you less time. If you have more efficient hardware with more RAM capacity, right? How much does H100 has? I think that it has the same amount of RAM. I'm not sure. RAM. Let's see. What is it? 80 gigabytes. There you go. It's also 80 gigabytes of RAM. I don't understand this crash. Okay, but what I did see is like, it doesn't matter if you look for the stock market, doesn't matter if you look for DeepSeek, it doesn't matter if you look for Nvidia. All you see is the exact same news media articles, and in all those news media articles, they are basically saying that's it. Nvidia is dead. What can we do? They're dead. What? And then people are selling their stock, and they're doing. Are you crazy? That's why you're selling your stock. You must be insane. Okay, so that's another reason why I'm filming this video. I don't want you guys to be misled by like I don't want you to be misled by something so silly. I think it is silly. Now, DeepSeek itself is a great model. They discovered something new, and it's open source. You can use it for free. It's open source, and it doesn't matter that it comes from the Chinese authority or whatever, because you can encapsulate it in a Docker container and you can run it locally on your system. You're not running it on a web. You're not running it on their servers. They have no access to your information. What kind of information they can access? These 4 files? Go ahead, enjoy. They're available online publicly, right? So that's the significance. And it's a bit, I don't know, but like Chinese Communist Party democratizing AI was not on my bingo list. Okay, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. And when I found the code, when I looked in the code, like, it's obviously I didn't look for any vulnerabilities because it's not a simple task, but the code is there. Everything is there. It is free and open. Wow, incredible. But the media, they took the component that says that they are able to do more efficient training. They discovered a new algorithm that allows them to train the models a bit more efficiently, and that's why it takes less time and less sophisticated GPUs. Okay, they took it and they focused on that instead of the most important component, which is the fact that it's free and open source. That's what all these media articles should have been about yesterday. Okay, that's exactly what it was about, but it wasn't. It was about the fact that um, it's like it's so much better than anything we have here. That all the industry that we build around AI in the northern hemisphere, or I guess North America, right? All this infrastructure is just shit. Sorry, it's just crap, which is not true because the model uses the same infrastructure. Okay, it just doesn't use it for training; it uses for inference, which is a much more important process. Okay, so my day yesterday. Okay, so I looked it up. I looked it up even more. I couldn't find the code, and that's where I realized it's a bit shady. Okay, that's where I posted on YouTube. By the way, I had a comment that I wanted to read. I posted a community post on YouTube asking, "Do you want a tutorial on this?" And then shortly after, I think a few hours later, I suddenly get an email from NVIDIA. Now, usually the emails I get from NVIDIA are very, very specific. Okay, they don't send me uh, news statements. They don't send me any of it. They send me things that relate to videos that I already filmed. Okay, so if I filmed a video about pandas, they would send me an email saying, "Hey Maria, we made a new QDF pandas version. It is now faster. It is capable of more. Blah blah blah." These are the type of stuff I get. Or like, "Hey, Maria, there's this new thing that your audience might enjoy. It's accelerating a different library that you haven't ever tried. Maybe you're going to find it interesting." And sometimes I post these things, and in most cases, these are Jupyter notebooks, and these are tutorials and all kinds of articles, rarely videos. Okay, learning resources. That's what I get from them. Yesterday, I get a statement as though I'm a media outlet, but a statement that they wrote. It's a very nice and very considerate and very respectful statement, very diplomatic. Okay, I'll pull it out actually from Twitter. I tweeted it yesterday. Let's see. Woo, woo. Okay. Sorry guys, I haven't been there. I haven't been here since yesterday. Okay. That's the statement they sent. Okay, so Deepseek is an excellent AI advancement and a perfect example of test time scaling. That's probably the new algorithm. Deepseek's work illustrates how new models can be created using the technique, leveraging widely available models and compute that is fully export control compliant. Okay, so translation, okay, leveraging widely available models. We're talking about Qwen, we're talking about Llama. Okay, the model itself, Deepseek R1, is not something we can run on our computer. That's why it leverages models that already exist. There is nothing new in running Qwen on your computer. The only new part in it is that it's fine-tuned to return a response that has a thinking component and it has a response component. Okay, you separate the response. It is much longer and it takes longer to generate. That's the only difference. Okay, it's not traditionally Deepseek R1, what we just use, and none of them are. Except the two that are. Sorry. Inference requires significant number of NVIDIA GPUs and high performance networking. We now have 3 scaling laws, pre-training and post-training, which continue, and new test time scaling. Okay, now translate it into human language. Okay, for what I understood from the statement is that, like, hey, curb your enthusiasm. The fact that it's faster in training means nothing because inference still needs the same amount of GPUs. Okay, you cannot. It's so annoying yesterday, so annoying. And you hear people posting about how they're running Deepseek R1 on their computer. You are not running Deepseek R1 on your computer. There is no chance in hell you are running it on your computer. Okay, unless you have the resources of Elon Musk. And I don't think on his personal computer he has these resources. These are resources that XAI has, or like Tesla or whatever it is. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, that's where I posted it. And at the time, I still didn't find their code online. Okay, so my video today was about to be about shadiness. Okay, and then what was it? About an hour later, after I posted it, I saw a post on LinkedIn, and I was like, okay, so it's here. The code is here, Everything is here. You can find the files. It's not just open source in terms of license, it's open source in terms of the code is available for you. But that's not all. If it was my only consideration, okay? I'm done with this saga. I'm running it on my system. Okay, it already runs on my laptop. I couldn't run the 14 gigabytes. I'm running the 14 billion parameters. I'm running it on my computer. My spouse and like, okay, this is done. Tomorrow I'm filming a video. I'm over. Turn off the computer. I have an idea for a tutorial. I already created a thumbnail. No more Deepseek. No more Deepseek. That's it. Forget about it. What's the first thing I see when I turn on the television? President Donald J. Trump talking about Deepseek. Okay, that's what I see the first thing. So yesterday, all day long, I was trying to escape it. I couldn't. From all the directions, emails, phone calls, and I was just trying to concentrate, and I couldn't. Everybody were talking about it. So that's why today I thought, okay, I'll just film a very informative and educational tutorial, and I'm just gonna try to shed some light on things that everybody's talking about, but they don't necessarily know what they're talking about when they're talking about it. Okay, and showing a demo, step by step, instructions and stuff that just kind of causes you to think about it on your end. I'm not saying you what to think. You can see it with your own eyes, and then you come to your own conclusions. And again, my conclusion is that it is not superior. Maybe if I will be able to run the R1 model, the actual full model somehow, I don't know how, maybe then I'll tell you it's superior. But what I've seen right now, it's perfectly compatible with Qwen. And honestly, I think that Qwen is better because it doesn't have the thinking component of the response. Okay, I don't like the thinking component. They could have done it better. Okay, let's take a look at your comments. Okay, Jason, the market is silly. The real effect here is the open source local use for everyone. Absolutely, that should be the #1 heading on all the newspapers. It shouldn't be about NVIDIA, okay? It shouldn't be about any of it. It should be about the fact that it's the irony of having China releasing an open source large language model that is comparable with OpenAI. That is not open, okay? They just call themselves open. That should be the topic of all the newspapers, okay? You can turn the thinking option down or off. I get it, but if you turn it off, you get Qwen, which is smaller. So what's the purpose of running the DeepSeek version of Qwen if it's Qwen that is trained on giving you the thinking part? So if you turn off the thinking component, that's Qwen. Why is not open? Have you seen the code of OpenAI? Like, have you seen the code of ChatGPT 01? You don't need to pay for it when you use it? You need to pay for it. It's not free. And you don't know what they put inside. Like, you can't embed it in your projects. You need to have like an API key. So it's not open. How is it open? It used to be open. It used to be a nonprofit organization. When they started the way, OpenAI, the reason why they call themselves open is because they're open source and because they were not for profit. And that's why Elon Musk, that's the drama of the whole world. That's why Elon Musk gave them like $100 million or something. That's why NVIDIA donated a supercomputer to them absolutely for free. Okay, so they can work on it. So everybody gave them donations. Everybody invested in them because they thought that they're democratizing AI. And then as soon as they created a model, suddenly they're no longer no profit. Okay, they're for profit. Suddenly they no longer share their code. I think the last model that was open source was ChatGPT 2.5, if I'm not mistaken. Fact check me on this one. But yeah, so suddenly when you have an opportunity to make money, you just throw to the garbage the whole premises of your company, and then you're not open, but you still call yourself open. Yeah, not a big fan. Not a big fan. I like when people are being straightforward. Be accurate. You don't have to be 100% accurate, okay? I'm okay with the accuracy that in which DeepSeek, for example, presented their product. They didn't tell you that it's faster in inference, it's faster in testing, it's faster in all these things. They only told you it's faster in training. And then people who don't understand AI processes either don't understand, either purposely try to mislead you for some nefarious intentions with some terrible, terrible things on their mind, trying to mislead you. They're the ones who started talking about how so much faster and better it is in terms of hardware processing. It's the media, it's not the people. No, I haven't seen any person that is associated with AI in a technical form saying that it's that's it, that's the end of GPU manufacturing because this model is so much more efficient. Nobody said it. Only people who don't really use, like, who use AI, they don't really make it. These are the people I've seen. So yeah. Let's see, what else do we have here. Yeah, hi, greetings from Vancouver. Just the name is open. Yeah, that's right, that's the only thing that's open in OpenAI. Don't ever put anything personal into ChatGPT. Well, that's easy because I don't use it. I don't use ChatGPT. I do pay for, well, I don't really pay for Grok. I pay for my blue check and then I get Grok. So why do I use anything else if I have Grok? Like, you can generate images with it. It's one of the coolest things to do. The only problem is it doesn't really know you. It doesn't really know you as an individual. It only knows, like, if I ask it, okay, hi Grok, can you please generate a picture? I'm too polite. A picture of myself in a cyberpunk like scene. Okay, he will know that I have a nose ring. He will know that I have a red lipstick. But that's the only thing he will know about me. I already tested it before. I was trying to generate my CES blog cover, and that's what I noticed. See, okay, nose ring, red lipstick. Okay, because this is what I have on my. This is the description. This is probably the description it generated of my avatar. But this is not me. Obviously, none of them is me. And for some reason, it thinks that I have brown hair. But yeah, if I have Grok, why do I need ChatGPT? Like, the only thing I need in terms of AI models is embedding them in my software. So if I make a software and it's a chatbot, for example, like the one we just ran, then yeah, I will use some kind of an AI model, but I'll use a free AI model. I'll use something that is already open source. I either load Stable Diffusion, okay, which is an image generating model. We have a video of how to do it on the channel. So if you'd like to take a look, just look for Stable Diffusion. There you go. Stable Diffusion GUI app. Amazing tutorial. It's using very similar techniques to what we just used. I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it in the comments right now. Okay. Also using Docker. Also downloading the model physically on your computer, but then instead of chatting with it, you generate a bunch of images. And you can generate any kind of images like you'd like, as long as it's safe for view. So there's so many tutorials, and because the same principles, the same Hugging Face principles apply to many other models, you can take it into any kind of application you'd like. Now, I show you how to make applications on a relatively basic level because it's Python simplified. It's not Python complicated, but if you want to take it to a personal project, like, you can make your own image generating AI. Like, imagine it. You can fine tune Stable Diffusion. You can make it in your image, in your shape, and then you can kind of post it online and maybe earn some money from it. Like, I don't know, maybe the license of Stable Diffusion will not let you, but there's so many things you can do with it. And that's why coding is so fun, because you take something that somebody else created, but you embed it in your program and you give it some other functionality that it wouldn't have in another app. So that's cool. Let's see. Greetings for Ethiopia. Hello. Can you see our 5 million programmer project? 5 million programmer. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Let's see. 5 million programmer. Let's see what it is. No, it doesn't find me. It finds me like how to make $3 million a year by being a programmer. Clickbaits. Okay, call it clickbaits. Okay, will you be making any videos on the mathematical foundations for AI ML? Just asking because I'm curious. Well, I asked you guys which video you want to see next. Was it linear regression or playwright? And even though linear regression got a lot of votes, playwright won. But my linear regression tutorial is halfway through. So basically what I do with these math formulas, I'm not explaining it like my teachers are explaining it in university. I'm simplifying it. I take a very simple input and I guide you through every step of the algorithm with a simple input so you can trace it and you can see what happens to it on the way. I have a few videos like that. I have a few videos. Maybe I can pull it out. Hold on. I had it here. Okay, so if you look for my playlist, does it find playlist? No, it doesn't find playlist. So let's see. Okay, maybe I'll do it off camera because I don't know what else it's going to open here. Maybe if I'll go to playlists, it's upstairs, and I go to my artificial intelligence and machine learning simplified playlist, and I look at the videos. There you go. There you go. You can pull it here. These videos have the same principles based also on machine learning algorithms, just not linear regression, just not the large language model algorithms, but the basics of it, okay? So when you're done with your introduction to training techniques and you're done with your introduction to neural networks, you can move on with the actual algorithm. So the perceptron is the basic unit of logic in a neural network. Holy smokes, I didn't know it has over... That has way more views than I thought it has. Okay, I haven't checked it in a while, but this is the basic unit of logic that equates to a neuron in a human brain. Okay, so we have neurons that either send you electric impulse or either don't send you electric impulse. Same goes with perceptron, that is either true or false. Okay, so it can send you an impulse or it cannot. It can avoid sending you an impulse, and then you connect these nodes one to another, and this is how you build a human brain and an artificial neural network. Okay, perceptron, I highly recommend it. Really nice. Then you can move on with some neural network algorithms. Okay, that it is cross entropy loss and gradient descent. So loss calculates how far you are from the place where you want to be. Okay, in simple terms. Okay, you want to be here. Okay, and this loss function will tell you, well, if you want to be here and you're right over here, okay, the thing you need to mitigate is this section over here, is this little section. Okay, that's what you need. And then we have gradient descent that tells you how to take where you are right now and make it closer to where you want to be. Okay, so these two components of a neural network, very important. And then in this train basic neural network video, we take it all together. Everything we learned in these 3 videos, or actually in these 5 videos, we take it and we build a basic neural network using NumPy and Pandas, which is something that we traditionally don't make neural networks with. But in this video, we are, because we want to look at the algorithms. I want you guys to go over the math and trace the input from start to finish. And this is the video that will kind of bring it all together. Then you can move on with some more advanced stuff. You can load databases directly from machine learning frameworks. You can learn CUDA, which is how we run things on GPU. Okay, this inference with torch TensorRT we talked about. We have these 2 videos that you can skip. They're terrible. It's a stupid neural network. Don't watch it. I didn't explain it well either. And then you can move on with some philosophical videos. This is Machines Can Think. Can Machines Think? Taking a paper by Alan Turing and turning it into something a bit more digestible. To lots of illustrations and fun stuff. And then you have all kinds of neural network projects, more advanced stuff. Some of it is like full-blown applications that I think a lot of you will enjoy. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff to learn when it comes to machine learning on this channel. So maybe I can share it and I can send it to you. How do I share it? Get shareable link. I copied it. Let me paste it here. I'm sure that many of you already looked it up. So I already teach it, but I can teach it more. It's all up to you. I do whatever you guys tell me. Okay, if you tell me to do gaming videos, I'll do gaming videos. It's all up to you. I already opened the channel for that. Yeah, Ethiopia's 5 million programmer on YouTube. I cannot really watch a YouTube video while I'm with you on this stream, so maybe after. I can't really pull it out and watch it now to understand what it is. If you explain it to me in a comment, we can go over it. Um, so first ask Grok if he knows who you are, then ask for research on you, and then ask him for your image. So the thing about Grok is that it doesn't really know who you are. Like it has this blockage. So if you ask it right now, do you know who I am? It's not supposed to know these personal things about you. That's the thing about Grok. I know who you are. Your name is Maria Shah, and your X handle is Maria Shah 888. Okay, how do I look like? Okay, let's ask it. You have long, wavy, light color hair and are often seen wearing a black jacket over a white top. Often seen. So basically, he looks at my profile picture where I have curly hair, which is not what I have usually. Okay, LED lights. Okay, large monitor. So it basically describes my my profile picture, but it doesn't really know how I look like. Um, Even if you upload an image and you ask it to generate some images based on this image, it cannot do it. Like it cannot do it just yet. It can describe it, but it can't really do it. So, whoa, where these notifications are coming from? Holy smokes, you guys! Thank you, thank you. Okay, let's see. Uh, let's see what else we have here. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up in 9 minutes. So if you have any urgent questions to ask me, please let me know in the comments. Yeah, please give me a shout. I wanted to call my brother too today. Want to see if he's coming to visit me soon. Can we look into flat? Flat. What is flat? I know what is flat. I can't remember. Fit. Flat. What is flat? Music notation software. That's what it is. Write music online together. Felt. Holy smokes. Sorry. Felt. Build multi-platform apps in Python powered by Flutter. Okay, Flutter. I got you. You know what? I'll suggest it in my next poll. If people want to see it, I'll film it. Yeah. Will there be inference too? Inference. There was inference. The inference was at the very beginning. Oh, you mean the inference algorithm? Hmm. I'm pretty sure I covered it in like 10 videos of mine. I just don't know where. I need to go over what I filmed already, and I need to organize it nicely, and then it will be easier to see. But yeah, I was hoping. My initial thought of starting Python Simplified was to start a channel named Go AI, where I only teach artificial intelligence. I wasn't planning on Python. But then you guys started asking for things that relate to Python. So I'm like, okay, let's expand this from AI to Python. Like if you look at my email, it's still like Go AI email. Yeah. By the way, how can I install Flash Attention quicker on my Colab notebook, like in minutes? Somehow I figured out fixed by cloning the repo, but then it's annoyingly slow. So everything that has to do with Google Colab is a bit funky. There's a lot of things that will work locally, but may not work in Colab Notebook. I never installed Flash Attention, so I'm not too sure how to reply. But that's the whole idea of Colab Notebook. You're running it on Google servers, and sometimes they need special approach. I've noticed it with the QDF Polars tutorials. So Polars GPU engine. They don't call it QDF Polars. Basically, so they've integrated it inside, but your installation command is different from how your installation command will be if it's local. It's something weird. I don't know what it's all about. I have no NVIDIA GPU locally, so I guess I am at a standstill. Well, you can use it online. There's a lot of platforms. Like if you go to Volter, you can create like a virtual machine with whatever hardware you want. You can hook up GPUs and CPUs. But for a lot of stuff, you don't really need a GPU, honestly. For a lot of stuff, you can just get away with Oh, and by the way, all this time I'm so small. Only now I'm noticing. Now I'm about to go. Okay, so let me enlarge myself slightly more. Okay. Haha, hi. Okay, I should have done it a while back, but yeah, I don't. You see that I do this all by myself. I don't really have anybody to manage these streams and kind of help me figure it out and let me know that, hey, Maria, you're still kind of small. 2 hours in, and your head is tiny. So yeah. Oh, and connecting Postgres data. Yeah, data sets we need to get into for sure. I've been promising it for a while. At least MySQL. I mean, at least, because all I have right now is SQLite. Um, so I'm thinking to kind of start going over some of the things I learned in university, but in my way of explaining it, because a lot of it is theory, and they don't really show you how to implement it. So what I'm going to do is I'll explain the theory in my words, and then I'll show you how to do it in the same breath. Um, yeah, but it's up to you. You guys let me know what you want to watch. Hello, I'm late, but enjoy the streaming. Thank you so much, Juan. Thank you. I am streaming. Um, enjoying it so far. Enjoying it. And there was one point that I didn't enjoy, and it was trying to run the 7 billion parameter Deepseek that didn't even run. But yeah, video the benefits of no code applications. How? It's a Python simplified tutorial. It's hard to connect no code stuff to it, right? Um, it will be it's not going to be in the theme. Actually, Sandy, if you want to watch these stuff, there are so many other I'm not an influencer. Uh, YouTubers, creators. There's so many other creators who cover this thing. They basically that's their main focus. No code application. Marcelo Levin, check him out. He's covering that. He doesn't have videos. He has I think he has live streams once a week, but his website is all about no code, using AI for no code. I was on his podcast a while back, but that's basically all he does, no code stuff. And all my friends that have been on the channel already, check out. I'm gonna pull out their credentials. Where was my YouTube? Okay, so we have Matt Vid Pro. Hold on, I'm gonna find him. YouTube.com. Okay, Matt. Okay, so first of all, this is Matt, Next Wave. Okay, Matt also has his own channel. What? Trump addresses Davos. Where did you pull out? What? How did it happen? But yeah, so we have Matt Vid Pro, channel number 1, I recommend. Okay, Matt number 1. There's Matt number 2. There's Matt Wolf. Okay, another Matt I recommend. There you go. And we have Igor. Oh, actually, he's not Igor. He's AI Advantage, who came to this channel to a live stream. He's also talking about DeepSeek. As you can see, I think everybody's talking about DeepSeek, and he will not reply to my emails. What's up, Igor? What's going on, man? Okay, so 3 channels, they talk about no code stuff. They talk about how to use Gen AI and all the news about Gen AI, all the stuff that I don't cover on this channel, they cover on theirs. So check them out. Really nice individuals. I hope to see them again in GTC this year, hopefully. What Python version do you feel comfortable in, and what are you planning for future videos? Whatever you guys tell me, I'll do. So the only video that I have, well, I'm finishing editing it hopefully today. That will be the Playwright, web scraping with Playwright, including CAPTCHA solving and proxies. Like CAPTCHA solving, one size fits all solution. Another video that I have written, I have the script written, but honestly, I'm going to try to do unscripted videos next, where I don't plan. But the next scripted video would be linear regression, the algorithm, the math algorithm, how it relates to machine learning, right? Because the math algorithm is for graphs. How it relates to machine learning is another thing, and how to implement it in code. It will all be in the same video, and it will be short. Okay, that's the goal. And then what's coming after, I'm going to have to ask you guys, whatever you want to see. It's all up to you. I don't really have a lot of plans. There will be some professional web scraping at scale. I will film a video like that. Like that goes far beyond just solving captchas. That's going to be insane. But I'm hoping to do so on live streaming data, real time data. So it's going to be even more interesting. OS fundamentals. Um, if it was only in Python, there's not a lot of OS library. Okay. Thank you for the idea. I get it. I got it. Cool. Yeah, we'll do lots of cool stuff. So yeah, guys, I gotta go. No, I looked at these comments already. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Salpan using LLMs for tutoring children. I don't know, but I wouldn't let my kids talk to an LLM. No, I'm joking. I will. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out when I'm a mother, an official one. So yeah, thanks so much for joining this live stream. If you have any questions still, leave them in the comments below. You'll have the comment section available once this video becomes a, on-demand video rather than a stream. And yeah, I'm gonna go and try to figure out all the editing stuff that I have left, and I'll try to call my brother. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for again, the new member that I haven't seen here ever since he joined us, Naftali. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll see you soon in a playwright tutorial. So yeah, bye bye, folks. Bye. Now, how do I turn this thing off? That's another question. I'm using a streaming software. And stream. I have a giant button here that says it. Okay. Bye, guys. See ya.